Going on, everybody? It is still alive. Checking back in with y'all. This is gonna be the last stream of the night, man. I love as much as I love LeBron as a player and respect him as one of the all-time greats. He's not my goat, but as one of the all-time greats, I think it's time for the Lakers and LeBron to move on from each other. And I haven't watched this video, but by the title, I'm guessing that's what he's about to talk about too. So we're about to react to this together. So let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think LeBron should play one more year at the Lakers, or do you think he should hang it up or go retire in Cleveland? A lot of people want him to go retire in Cleveland, but we're going to get right into this, man. Let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Nearly 26, 7.5, and 7.5 in 6 seasons. He has never missed a playoff game with injury in his career, but the same problem keeps biting him. The Lakers were helpless against the Thunder, and LeBron was furious at bad calls, but even angrier that his team had no rim protection or inside scoring and were swept out of the playoffs again. Even worse, of the 7 Lakers who played the most minutes in the playoffs, all 7 could leave in free agency. Los Angeles knows the championship formula. Get a superstar, surround him with the right cast, and profit with a title. Only, since the bubble, they keep getting that cast wrong. And with a new roster to build, the Luka Doncic era is quickly becoming haunted with the same questions that plagued LeBron. Since the bubble, LeBron has not returned to the finals. Luka proved with the 2024 Mavericks he can get you there. But the Lakers need to break one specific pattern, or they are going to waste Luka Doncic's prime. So I have a question for you. Was winning the 2020 championship the worst thing that could have happened to LeBron? Sounds a bit insane because, of course, winning a title is always the goal. But when the Lakers won, they learned the wrong lesson. And that wrong lesson has not only kept them stuck for the last 6 years, it's also a lesson they are repeating with Luka. Because let's remember that when LeBron first joined the Lakers,
Okay, I'm intrigued because this is not where I thought the video was going to go at all. But okay, let's see what they're about to say.
the team actually failed to make the playoffs in his first season, but they were young. LeBron was suiting up next to Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart, all 3 who after 1 year with LeBron were traded to the Pelicans along with the number 4 pick and 3 other first rounders for Anthony Davis. A move that won the Lakers the 2020 championship, but also forced them to fall into what I call the superstar trap. A trap that they have quickly found themselves in with Luka. A superstar can mask a lot of problems on a roster and can win you a lot of games with the wrong players. That is the trap, because once the playoffs come around, those wrong players get exposed. And I know a lot of people discount the 2020 title because it was won in the bubble. Even AD.
I think I think the Lakers need to do this. I think LeBron needs to go. I think no disrespect to Bronny. I think Bronny could be a great off the bench team or off the bench player for a team like Wizards or something, to where he can actually develop his game and get some playing time. He's never going to get the playing time he needs on the Lakers with this roster. He needs to get experience on a team that's not good all the time, or I don't know, like Utah or something, where he could really get some play time and some experience and get his feet under him and not playing under his dad. But I think we need to get rid of Dalton Connect, Jake LaRavia, Bronny, LeBron, and I don't know, maybe a couple other people, and bring in some more help around Austin Reeves, Jackson Hayes, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart. Keep all of them. Keep Rui Hachimura. Keep Vanderbilt, even though he got hurt. Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart, bro, they're lockdown defenders. Rui Hachimura, bro, he can shoot lights out. You know what Luka and Reeves can already do. But when you get rid of all them other players and then LeBron and Bronny on top of it, you free up so much space to bring in people.
He has said he doesn't know if it should really count.
You know, it's like, damn, did I win? Did I not win? Like, I know I'm listed as a champion, but it's like, I'm not sure.
But regardless of how they won, the Lakers should have learned a very valuable lesson. 2020 LeBron averaged over 10 assists per game. He was second in MVP voting, and Anthony Davis was the perfect secondary star to complement him. The thing is though, the Lakers also had the right role players around their two big names. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Rajon Rondo, Kyle Kuzma, Alex Caruso. These types of role players led them to a championship. But instead of focusing on what made their overall roster special, what made this a title team, the trap was activated. Los Angeles saw that in just one season, they could change a large portion of their roster and still win a title. They saw LeBron and Anthony Davis could carry them, which meant for the 2021 season, they began the pattern they need to fix during the Luka Doncic era. Because in 2021, the Lakers entered the season as title favorites and left after losing in the first round. So what went wrong? The Lakers overreacted to an injury-filled season. In 2021, LeBron only played 45 games in a 72.
I was going through like my injury and shit in 2020 and 2021. I watched the 2020 finals, but like I didn't watch any NBA that year, or I didn't watch any NBA 2021 or 2022, to be honest. I just started rewatching the last like 4 years, but I grew up watching NBA my whole life. And I still followed it during them years on my phone and stuff, but I wasn't actively like watching it and because I was going through a lot. I was in the hospitals and shit, just broke my back in a car wreck and everything. But like I did watch LeBron win that ring, but you know, I mean, I didn't know really what happened after that. I didn't know they fell apart like that.
Game regular season, and Anthony Davis played in just 36, solidifying his nickname of Street Clothes. This meant that even though the Lakers still had most of their title core in place, they had a subpar regular season and were just the 7th seed. They then went on to lose in the first round of the playoffs to the 2nd-seeded Suns in 6 games, which for the defending champions caused a panic like no other. What is important to note here is that while the Lakers roster was mostly unchanged, LA did try to replace Dwight Howard's rim protection with Andre Drummond. Dwight Howard wanted to come back to LA. He even made a tweet saying he was staying because he thought that he had officially re-signed, but he had to delete that tweet and sign with the 76ers because the contract the Lakers offered him was taken back, giving us an early sign that the Lakers were falling into the trap. They were not valuing the specific role of role players enough. Dwight's value as a defender was under-recognized. Instead, Los Angeles brought in a former talented player, Andre Drummond, who was an all-star in his career, but also was a bad defender. And with that, they paid a price. But more importantly,
oh my God, they were some of the worst plays. Look at you.
In a former talented player.
How the fuck did he miss that wide open dunk?
Defender was under-recognized. Instead, Los Angeles brought in a former talented player, Andre Drummond, who was an all-star in his career, but also was a bad defender. And with that, they paid a price.
Oh my
but more importantly,
God.
while Anthony Davis did play in 5 games in the first round, he was playing injured. That alone should have been enough for the Lakers to relax and realize that they just had an extremely unlucky season. But they didn't. They instead made panic moves that would still cost them to this day. But the lesson the Lakers need to learn from their current DeAndre Ayton move is do not panic. Their 2026 roster had flaws. Their 2021 roster had flaws, but both also had huge injuries to their stars. Only after the 2021 season, the Lakers convinced themselves they were too far away from being a contender. So they panicked and went all in on a 3rd star, Russell Westbrook. In order to get Russ, they lost their entire identity. The 2020 championship team was a 2-man show where both LeBron and Anthony Davis averaged over 27 points and 9 rebounds a game in the playoffs. They didn't need a big 3. This pairing worked because LeBron and AD carried with the right pieces around them. No one else on the Lakers averaged
That all makes sense.
over 10.7 points per game in the 2020 playoffs, but their role players were defensive minded and ready to step up.
That's why I said we cannot get rid of Marcus Smart or Jared Vanderbilt, because them two are our rocks on defense. They be hustling and getting them tip passes and getting them steals, or getting them 50-50 balls where they're diving on the ground and getting jump balls and doing all. That's Marcus and Vanderbilt. We cannot get rid of them.
Up when needed. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope averaged 16 points per game in the last 3 games of the finals. Kyle Kuzma had 3 games in the playoffs with 17 or more points. In order to get Russ, they were traded. Los Angeles thought that just like between 2019 and 2020, they could change their entire roster overnight and still compete for a championship. But now, with Russell Westbrook, the Lakers were betting on bench players such as Malik Monk, a non-defender, a respectfully washed up Carmelo Anthony, a respectfully washed up Avery Bradley, and a never wasn't washed up Stanley Johnson. The cast they put around their big three was brutal. They figured if they had 3 all-star level talents, everything else would figure itself out. It didn't.
How it works. Them super teams rarely work. And the super teams usually only work when they're built up to where they have a big three and they didn't try to go bring in a big three. It works sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. We've watched it fail more than it works.
And that is the superstar trap in play. The current Lakers need to learn from this. The same pattern cannot play out like it has been with DeAndre Ayton. If the current Lakers do make a huge move, it has to be the right one. It has to be an Anthony Davis type of trade where AD actually fit into what LeBron was doing. They cannot panic and just go for a talented player and hope that their roster is going to figure it out. The most talented big threes throughout history have always had star role players.
Exactly.
The 2008 Celtics big three of Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett.
And they built that big three up, though. They didn't go out and find Paul Pierce, Garnett, and all of them being like, yes, they were all freaking superstars, but like they didn't go get all these players when they were already on max contracts, like from other teams. These players all came to Celtics and they built the Celtics up. You know what I mean? So like what Miami did is hard to do. Go get with D Wade was already there, but go get 2 more superstars and then somehow be able to build the rest of your team around it. Like Miami was a rare occasion that we've seen that shit.
Garnett was complemented by Rajon Rondo, Kendrick Perkins, Leon Poe, and Tony Allen. The Dynasty Warriors had Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala. When you try to just bring in 3 guys and hope it works, you get disasters like the Suns with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Russell Westbrook was such a disaster move. Him and LeBron hated playing with each other so much that the Lakers with Russ didn't just miss the finals, they missed the playoffs entirely.
I don't even want to bring my kids to the game because I don't want them to hear people calling their dad nicknames and out of their names for no reason. You know, my family don't even want to go to home games, to any game.
But honestly, the Russ move may have been salvaged if Los Angeles had saved themselves with something else entirely. Just evaluating their own talent correctly. After the 2021 season, where the Lakers lost in the first round, Alex Caruso was up for a contract extension. The Lakers looked at their own team and decided Taylor Horton Tucker was simply better, so they extended him instead. They let Caruso walk to the Bulls, and the Bulls last season were able to trade Caruso for a triple-double machine in Josh Giddey. Caruso has of course established himself as a key piece on the Thunder's championship team and their current roster, so this trade was a win-win for the Thunder and the Bulls. The only team that lost was the Lakers, who fumbled this decision. Taylor Horton Tucker is not only no longer with the Lakers, he is completely out of the NBA right now. And going even further, after the Lakers got rid of Russell Westbrook, they were able to reach the 2023 Western Conference Finals, where a guy like Alex Caruso playing major minutes may have made all of the difference. Instead, the Lakers were swept as D'Angelo Russell played both horrible defense and averaged 6.3 points per game. Another pattern the Lakers need to learn from. Because right now, Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves are both up for contract extensions. Rui specifically just averaged over 17 a game in the playoffs and shot over 56% from 3. Sometimes the grass looks greener, but other times the right player is already on your roster. If LA can extend Rui for a reasonable price, they need to. He's shown he fits in with their core. He is a net positive, not one of their issues. And yes, if the right trade for Austin Reeves is there, you make it. But it has to be an Anthony Davis type trade, not a Russell Westbrook one. Luka and Austin Reeves might struggle together defensively, but Austin averaged over 23 points per game in the regular season. He fought through injuries in the playoffs and still averaged 20. 4 of the Lakers' best 3-man combinations this year included Austin Reeves, and while their best 2-man combination was Rui and Marcus Smart, their second best was Luka and Austin Reeves. Then, of course, another massive decision comes with LeBron. LeBron did bring some drama this season. I'm not denying that. But if LeBron wants to come back to the Lakers and...
I think it's too much money. I think you get little LeBron. You can bring in so many players with the cap space that you clear up from getting rid of LeBron and Bronny and Dalton Connect. That's a lot of money right there. You get rid of Dalton Connect and Jake LaRavia, LeBron, and Bronny. Those aren't the core. You get rid of them four and bring in more help. You got a solid core here at the Lakers.
Wants to run it back. To me, that shows he's more locked in embracing his current role with the team than he even was this year. I don't think he's going to waste potentially the last season of his career playing for a team that he doesn't enjoy playing for. And so I have a final question for you. What would happen if you took MVP Steph Curry off of the 2015 Warriors? I think we can agree the answer is they don't win the title. And Luka Doncic this season had yet again another MVP year. We did not get a chance to see what a Luka Doncic-led roster was capable of this season. It's just that simple. But even if you don't think this roster is capable of winning a championship, what is more important here is still that the Lakers learn their lesson and do not have a desperate offseason. If we're being honest, time is not running out. Luka is signed until 2028 with a 2029 player option. The Lakers need to upgrade this roster, yes, but they also need to learn from the pattern we saw in 2021. Already, we saw the Andre Drummond move in DeAndre Ayton. That didn't work. Los Angeles needs to learn. They need to do what they can to target a defensive big man who can set picks and catch lobs. Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively were key to Luka's title run in 2024. And at the end of the day,
Jackson Hayes is great at that, I think. Me personally, I think Jackson Hayes should have been probably the starting point guard over Aiden.
when the Lakers traded for Luka Doncic, they were betting on a superstar who you could pair with a still all-star level LeBron and a high-level scorer in Austin Reeves, along with the right role players, and compete for a title. Keywords: right role players. Because the Thunder and the Spurs do have near super teams, yes, but sometimes the best player on the court is still able to win anyway. The 2022 Nuggets were very injured and they lost in the first round of the playoffs. The 2023 Nuggets were healthy, they won the championship. And as we know, no one expected the 2024 Mavs to make the finals, but with the right secondary star in Kyrie Irving and the right role players around him, Luka Doncic proved for that year he was the best player in the world, and so he was able to go on a run. The Lakers know the formula. They saw it.
If Luka was healthy, I think they could have probably almost beat OKC this year.
In 2020, get the right role players.
All the games weren't that big of blowouts, to be honest, until the end of the quarters. And that was even with all the egregious fucking reffing.
Combine them with a superstar, and you are in title contention. What LA cannot do is fall back into the trap, because this time they won't be wasting the end of LeBron's career. They'll be wasting Luka Doncic's prime. And with history there for them to learn from, they really have no excuse here. So there we have it. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did, I really think you're going to like the videos that are on the—
Man, let me know what y'all think about it. Y'all think, do you guys think that the Lakers should trade some players off, or should we keep the main core and try to get rid of a couple of the role players that we could bring? Because I think even if you keep LeBron and Bronny, I think Dalton Connect and Jake LaRavia, and then get rid of them and try to bring in one more defensive minded player or one more center or something. Like, I think you could do something like that. But I think unless LeBron decides to go somewhere else and you clear up that cap space, because then you could really bring in a lot of players. But if LeBron decides to stay, then I think they need to try to find a few of their players down on the bench to get rid of and try to bring in some other right players. But man, let me know what y'all think below. Make sure to like,